While they use that time and the power of time travel to try and steal the song from themselves at different periods in time, their daughters actually go about creating the band that would do it. Oh, they have daughters now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Blockbuster Review. If you don't know what that is, it is where I try to review a film while playing a single game of Tetris Marathon, and review the film before it gets to 150 lines or the bricks reach the top. Spoilers are at line 50, and here we go. So, Bill and Ted Face the Music is the third film in the Bill and Ted's franchise that came out many, many years after the second film in the franchise, starring Keanu Reeves and, is it Alex Winter? I think it's Alex Winter. When I watched it, I did want to mention I am not a huge fan of Bill and Ted's. I didn't watch it like many other people did and had a great love for the series. When I watched it, I mostly just watched it as, you know, just to see what it would be like. I assumed I wouldn't like it, and I assumed certain beats would exist in that movie, and it turns out I was basically right, but I didn't feel good about being right. It was more of just kind of a disappointment that I was right. In the film, Bill and Ted are dealing with the fact that they have grown older and older, but they have not fulfilled the prophecy that they were told they were going to fulfill in, is it the first movie? That they were going to write a song that would unite the world in peace and bring about this great Star Trek future that the world would enjoy. And the beginning of Face the Music, they don't live in that world. They're a washed-up band. They had a couple sort of hits, but they mostly became has-beens, I guess would be the word. They have a meeting with Kristen Shaw, who is in Bob's Burgers. That's what everybody who I saw the movie with was talking about. But I knew her as Kristen Shaw, the comedic actress who is very funner? Wow, words. She's very funny in her own right. That's what I was trying to say, funny in her own right, even if not connected to a very popular cartoon. And she plays the daughter of Rufus, which, as you should know if you've watched the originals and remember it at all, Rufus was the emissary from the future who came to Bill and Ted, originally an excellent adventure, to get them to pass a history test or whatever. It was like a history exam. It was like they basically had a final exam where they had to present something in front of the entire class in an auditorium. Made no sense. Anyway, Kristen Shaw is that character's daughter, coming to let them know that the entire world is beginning to fall apart, space and time is coming undone, and they have yet to save the world with their music, and they have approximately the length of a film to get it done. While they use that time and the power of time travel to try and steal the song from themselves at different periods in time, their daughters actually go about creating the band that would do it. Oh, they have daughters now. That was the big new aspect of this story, which I was like, oh, so it turns out the daughters are actually the Preston and Logan, that's their last names. That was actually the people who created the song, and it got confused by time, which does make sense to me if we have this incredible future archiving system where Clarence Clemens is on the board and now it's a bunch of other people. They would know that it wasn't actually Bill and Ted, that it was their daughters. They would have mentioned something or said it, because if they have the power of time travel, certainly they would have a better archiving system than just last names and that they would do something. But I digress. So the daughters, female leads of the movie, go about assembling a fantastic musical team, which conveniently includes people from all walks of life, including, artists I've never heard of, and artists that I think were made up so they could fill out some level of diversity sheet. And at the end of the movie, eventually, after some hijinks with Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter pretending to be themselves at different times, they go to hell, they see Death again, who, because Death was like a character that was completely in makeup and needs to be ageless, he looks exactly the same while everybody's old as balls. You know, they save the world, whatever. My buddy, who is a big fan of Bill and Ted, said, well, you know, I like the first, like, 2/3, and then it gets kind of dumb towards the end, and I agree, but there are some other things that I wanted to mention, just little rants, little problems. I hate that, if you remember in Bill and Ted, they take some princesses out of their time and make them their wives. They don't make them. They have these wives that are from medieval England. In this movie, those women were replaced by other actresses that are much younger than they should be. And it's something that kind of bothered me, not because, like, I didn't think, oh, you should definitely go get the actresses that played those women. They have a more centralized role in this story, so you probably want some real-deal actresses. And I don't know their age, and I can be completely wrong, but it is kind of ridiculous when you have Keanu Reeves and Edgar Winter, who are, you know, they are older dudes. And they are with younger women that are, in essence, a lot younger in retrospect to the women that they took from a different time. And they did it because they knew no one would care except for me, and I would point it out in this stupid YouTube video no one's watching. But it bothered me, and it bothered me every time I saw them, because they were both comedic actresses that I know of. One, I forgot her name, but she was in Glee. She's one of the few parts of Glee that I enjoyed before I stopped watching it, because I couldn't handle it anymore. And the other woman, who I cannot remember either, I had seen her in some other comedic roles and enjoyed her, but it's like, I know for a fact that this is not age-appropriate just based on the characters that you're supposed to be replacing. So it bothered me, and I could be wrong. They could be exactly the right age, and just women in general are a lot younger looking than they used to be. I will accept that. Maybe it's me. But it also is distracting to me when watching the movie that it's like, oh, so we got the new model women in for Keanu and Alex Winter, because as we know, you can't make a movie with older women. That's just outrageous. There's also the inclusion of rapper Kid Cudi, which he's included in this team. Well, he isn't included in the team of the best musicians of all time, which I think was a smart move. He wasn't sought after to make this supergroup. He just happens to be someone who's there, and it felt very much like if we get some kind of rapper the kids would know, and it landed on Kid Cudi. And I was like, well, that's interesting, and whatever. Anyway, Bill and Ted's Face the Music, not my cup of tea, didn't enjoy it. Doesn't mean it's, you know, doesn't mean that it's a crime against nature, just not something I enjoyed. If you have a movie you'd like to suggest that is definitely available for streaming somewhere, makes it a little easier on me, put it in the comments as a suggestion, or suggest it in the Discord. There's a link somewhere around here. Have yourself a good one.